There are, so this is from De Jong's medullary syndromes. So there are there are two primary medullary syndromes. So what are these two primary medullary syndromes? So one is the lateral Wallenberg syndrome, and the other is the medial Tisserand's syndrome. So we have two primary medullary syndromes. So one is the lateral Wallenberg syndrome and the medial Tisserand syndrome. So the rare medial medullary syndrome is summarized in 21.1. So in a study of clinical MRI correlation in medial medullary infarction, classical Tisserand syndrome, ipsilateral tongue weakness with contralateral hemiparesis and lemniscal sensory loss was seen in 64% of patients. The remainder had partial lesions which may be less readily recognized. So, in a study of clinical MRI correlation in medial medullary infarction, so it's also called as classical Tisserand syndrome. So what happens is tongue in medial medullary, ipsilateral tongue weakness. Okay, tongue weakness is ipsilateral tongue weakness with contralateral hemiparesis and lemniscus sensory loss was seen in 64% of patients. Uh, in medial medullary infarction, that is in classical Tisserand syndrome, ipsilateral tongue weakness with contralateral hemiparesis and lemniscus sensory loss was seen in 64% of patients. The remainder had partial lesions which may be less readily recognized. The extremely rare bilateral medial medullary syndrome cause quadriparesis and other abnormalities. So, other syndromes of the medulla, Evelis-Jockson's, Schmidt's, Sestan-Chanius, and Babinski-Nagiot are described. So, except for the occasional upper motor neuron facial palsy in Wallenberg syndrome, there is sparing of facial motor function in all of the medullary syndromes. So we have this rare bilateral medial medullary rare bilateral medial medullary syndrome. So in this there is quadriparesis and other abnormalities. So if it's bilateral medial medullary, so it will be quadriparesis. Other syndromes of the medulla like Evelis, Jackson's, Smith's, Sestan-Chanies and Babinski-Nagiot are described, except for the occasional upper motor neuron facial palsy in Wallenberg syndrome. So what happens in Wallenberg syndrome is occasionally there will be a upper motor neuron type of facial palsy, the sparing of facial motor function in all of the medullary syndromes. So here in figure 21.1, in figure 21.1, so here we can see the cross section of the medulla illustrating the site of the lesion following thrombosis of the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. So this is the cross section of the medulla illustrating the site of the lesion following thrombosis of the posterior inferior cerebellar artery, posterior inferior cerebellar artery. So here in the cross section of the medulla, so anteriorly we have this pyramid and here it is the medial lemniscus. Pyramid is there, medial lemniscus, medial longitudinal fasciculus, inferior olive, okay, olive inferior olivary nucleus is in the medulla, and lateral spinothalamic tract. So lateral spinothalamic tract, secondary ascending tract of fifth nerve, secondary ascending tract of nerve 5, uh, roots of nerve 10, roots of nerve 10, and medial vestibular nucleus, inferior vestibular nucleus. So vestibular nucleus, medial vestibular nucleus, and inferior vestibular nucleus, lateral cuneate nucleus, and restiform body. Okay, so this is the lateral cuneate nucleus, and this is the restiform body. So nucleus and root of fifth nerve and ventral spinocerebellar, and dorsal efferent tract of 10th nerve, nucleus solitarius, dorsal efferent tract of 10th nerve, nucleus of nerve 12th, nucleus ambiguous, and medial longitudinal fasciculus. So whenever so what happens in medial medullary syndrome is, so in medial medullary syndrome, 12th nerve nucleus or fibers, medullary pyramid, and 12th nerve nucleus or fibers, nucleus of 12th nerve. Okay, so this is the nucleus of 12th nerve, and medullary pyramid is involved. So what will happen? So because of this involvement, so what is happening? So here in medial medullary syndrome, pyramid, and one more thing is here is this nucleus. Sorry, nucleus of 12th nerve. Here is the nucleus of 12th nerve. So if this pyramid and there is a involvement of the nucleus of the 12th nerve, pyramid is here, 12th nerve nucleus is here. So there will be a, what will happen? There will be a ipsilateral tongue weakness. Okay, tongue ipsilateral weakness. Then contralateral hemiparesis, pairing the face, and impairment of posterior column function. Lateral spinothalamic tract functions are spared. MLS medial lemniscus. Medial, where is medial lemniscus? Okay, here. So this medial lemniscus. So pyramid is involved. So pyramid, medial lemniscus, and nucleus of 12th nerve is there. What is there? Pyramid. Pyramid is there. Medial lemniscus is there, and nucleus of 12th nerve is there. So because of that, what will happen? Ipsilateral tongue weakness, contralateral hemiparesis, pairing the face, and impairment of posterior column function, and lateral spinothalamic functions are spared. So why this medial medullary syndrome is occurring? So this is in the medial medulla. So this is also called as Dejereyn's anterior bulbar syndrome, pyramid hypoglossal syndrome, or alternating hypoglossal hemiplegia. So due to ischemia in the distribution of the paramedian perforator or the anterior spinal artery. So why the syndrome occurs? Due to ischemia in the distribution of the paramedian perforator or the anterior spinal artery. Findings may be bilateral and of variable laterality due to involvement of the pyramidal decussation and variations in the anatomy of the anterior spinal artery. So due to ischemia in the distribution of the paramedian perforator or the anterior spinal artery. Findings may be bilateral and of variable laterality due to involvement of the pyramidal decussation and variations in the anatomy of the anterior spinal artery. And then we have this lateral medullary syndrome. So in lateral medullary syndrome, it's called as Wallenberg's lateral medullary syndrome. So here here it is a lateral medullary tegmentum. So what else is involved? Spinal tract of cranial nerve 5 and its nucleus ambiguous. Okay, where is the spinal tract of so what else is involved? Ascending tract of nerve 5. Okay, ascending tract of nerve 5 is involved. And then what else is involved? Ascending tract of nerve 5. And then what else is there? Nucleus ambiguous. Okay, so here is the nucleus ambiguous. Nucleus ambiguous, second ascending tract of nerve 5. Then what else is involved here? And emerging fibers of cranial nerve 9 and 10, lateral spinothalamic tract. Emerging fibers of cranial nerve 9 and 10. So 5th nerve, 10th nerve, spinocerebellar tract, and what else is there? Descending sympathetic fibers, vestibular nuclei, and lateral cuneate nucleus. Okay, descending sympathetic fibers, vestibular nuclei. Where is vestibular nuclei? Okay, so here this vestibular nuclei is involved. Descending sympathetic nerve nuclei, descending sympathetic nerve, descending sympathetic fibers, vestibular nuclei, inferior cerebellar peduncle, afferent spinocerebellar tracts, and lateral cuneate nucleus. Lateral cuneate nucleus. So where is this lateral? So here is the lateral cuneate nucleus. Lateral cuneate nucleus. Lateral spinothalamic tract. So what happens in medial medullary syndrome is, so there will be loss of pain and temperature, ipsilateral phase and contralateral body, decreased ipsilateral corneal reflex. 5th cranial nerve is involved, no? So weakness of the ipsilateral soft palate, loss of ipsilateral gag reflex, paralysis of ipsilateral vocal cord. 5th nerve, ipsilateral vocal cord, soft palate, ipsilateral central horn syndrome, sympathetic tract, then cerebellar peduncle, so nystagmus, cerebellar ataxia of ipsilateral limbs and lateropulsion. So what are the nerve nuclei which are involved? 5th nerve, cranial nerve 5, nucleus ambiguous, 9, 10 and 5. Okay, lateral means 10, 5, 9. So all these nerves are involved. Okay, so because of this, weakness of ipsilateral soft palate, loss of ipsilateral gag reflex, paralysis of ipsilateral vocal cord, central apart from the sympathetic fibers, then inferior cerebellar peduncle. Okay, it's in communication, no? Cerebellar peduncle, afferent spinocerebellar tracts and lateral cuneate nucleus. Several variants are recognized. So occasional ipsilateral upper motor neuron facial palsy due to involvement of aberrant corticospinal tract, facial sensation sometimes preserved, ischemia in posterior inferior cerebellar artery distribution, but more often due to vertebral artery occlusion. So several variants are recognized. Occasional ipsilateral upper motor neuron facial palsy due to involvement of aberrant corticospinal tract. Facial sensation sometimes is preserved, and ischemia in posterior inferior cerebellar artery distribution, more often due to vertebral artery occlusion. So this occurs mostly in relation with ischemia of the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. And so apart from this, so in medulla different syndromes are there. Jackson syndrome, Sustance-Chenies syndrome. So like it depends on which nucleus ambiguous is involved, or sometimes corticospinal tract, medial lemniscus. So it depends on a different involvement of different nuclei. So different syndromes are there. So patients may have an